isn't you. You did something after it. She's like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. That's not me. How many have ever done this? So when somebody does something, instead of going, how could they do this to me? Or that person did this, therefore they're a bad person. What you really want to do is say, I don't agree with their behavior, but I still love the person. Same thing is true, by the way, in helping your children to make changes. If you want to be a great parent, you don't correct your child, you correct the behavior. It's very important that we separate behavior from who a person really is. Hopefully we're a lot more than just what people notice physically about what we do. Hopefully we're spiritual beings, right? What we are is a lot more than what we demonstrate at times. We got to remember that. So when somebody does something, you go, they're a bad person. No, they're not a bad person. They got some bad behavior, and your interpretation of it at least, okay? People are not their behaviors. Get upset with the behavior. Separate behavior from people. So if I'm giving feedback to my kids, I can get real intense. I can come in and say, you know what, this does not work for me. What you just did there, that doesn't work. That behavior is totally unacceptable. You know we got clear agreements on that. And I love you, but I will not settle for that behavior. And I know that you're much better than this, so I need you to make this shift, or you won't do that, okay? But I correct the behavior, not the person. Otherwise, the person feels really beat up. You can separate the two clearly. Second core belief, there is always, yes, always, a positive intent behind all behavior. There is always a positive intent behind all behavior, even behavior that looks negative. There's always a positive intent behind someone's behavior. So let's take the example of the lady here who was willing to share earlier. She said, you know, this person, she's trying to communicate with this man and she can't get through, and he does these different things, and none of us know the content of what he does, but he does certain things that really upset her, obviously. Now, I don't know what things those are, but let's say he spoke harsh, or he will not get close to you. I'm saying there's a positive intent to him not getting close to her. Is that because she's a bad person? No, what I'm saying is his behavior is trying to do something good, and what it's trying to do is protect him from pain or give him some pleasure. And I would hallucinate, he's probably trying to protect him from some what? From some what? Pain. How many would agree, probably guess if we were going to hallucinate, that's probably it. So the reality is maybe he's been hurt before, or before he gave his heart and soul and then that person left him, or before he did that and it didn't work out and he felt disappointed. And what a lot of us do is to try and protect ourselves from pain, we do dumb things that make our life even more painful. So instead of making him wrong and say he's such a shallow person, he doesn't commit, he's horrible, what you might say is, God, I massively disagree with his behavior, and I wonder what the intent is in his subconscious mind. What is it this brain is trying to get him by being this way? All right, maybe it's trying to protect him. Maybe I need to show him he doesn't have to be protected by me, that I'm not going to hurt him. Does this make sense? So what about somebody trying to commit suicide? Is there a positive intent there? Committing suicide? You better believe there is. That person's brain is saying, you know something? Being dead would be less painful than being here. That's not true, but that's what they think in the moment, and that's why they try and actually commit suicide. Somebody holds up that gun, what's the positive intent? That person's intent is trying to survive. Now, it may not be affecting you positive, but there is a positive intent. And I'll tell you what, with friends, you want to assume that if your friend does anything, that there's a positive intent towards you as well, even though if you can't see it. Because if you assume upon somebody has a positive intent, and you expect that, people tend to respond to that accordingly.